This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Nick Ball out here in Saudi Arabia. Nick, firstly, how are you? You look a little chilly there, mate.
Yeah, all good. Made up to be out here, yeah, and enjoying this experience, yeah.
How different does it feel compared to your usual fight week back home in the UK?
It's obviously different, innit? Because the surroundings and the place is different, but everything else is the same, and just take each day as it comes, staying focused, and yeah, do what I normally do each day, do the same.
It's only a small difference, but there's 3 hour time difference, obviously. How, if at all, does that maybe change your plans during the day? Have you found yourself maybe training a bit later, getting used to fighting at a later time out here?
Yeah, I think I'll be fighting about 11:30 out here, so that's like 8:30 in UK time. So no, I've been staying all different times here, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And back home it's staying late anyway, so and run at night late, so I've got everything covered.
Before we do come on to the Rey Vargas fight, just take me back to the victory against Dogboe. Your best performance so far, one which gained you even more credit and plaudits than what you've had previously. What did you take away from producing such a dominant performance against a very well respected and toughened man in Dogboe?
Yeah, it was a good fight, but it was just one I had to get through to get me to this point where I am now, and I've done that. But in that fight, it was a good, solid performance. But I know that I've got a lot more in me to show. Yeah.
You've been gaining more and more credit for each fight, each performance you've been putting in. But one thing, and it's a similar comparison I can make with Hamza Shiraz, it's somewhat people are almost waiting for that time for you to maybe come a little bit short in one of these fights. Do you feel like that's the case, or do you disagree with that?
What do you mean?
To fall short in one of these fights when you step up. So like when Hamza Shiraz fights, for example, people kind of look at him thinking, oh, he's going to slip up against this guy, he's going to slip up against this guy. It seems to be somewhat related to you, or do you disagree with that?
Yeah, in life, that's what it is in life as well. Not just boxing. Everyone wants to see. People are waiting on you to fail, waiting on you to lose. That's just the way it is. But there's people out there who want you to win, who really do want you to win. But then there's people out there waiting for you to slip or waiting. That's just the way it is. But you can't let that get to you or focus on that. Just leave them doing what they're doing, because they're not doing nothing.
What do you feel like the victory against Dogboe proved to the rest of the division, the rest of the world, everybody who follows boxing?
Proved that I can box as well, outbox at that level, because they were questioning whether I've got the boxing skills as well as just going in and trying to take your head off like a brawler. But it's not like that. It's all skills set up. So it's proved that I can box at that level, and if I need to, I can outbox it as well as fight.
It's obviously one thing we've gotten used to during your career, seeing those stunning stoppage victories, seeing you take your opponents out of the equation. How big of a factor is that, especially at world level, knowing that if you need to go to the world like that, you'll be able to pull something out?
Yeah, in this sport, in boxing, you need to be like that. You need to be hitting people, I think, because that's the game that we're in, innit? And you need to be getting your respect, and it can't all just be tippy tappy and that. And boxing, it's a fight at the end of the day, innit? So it's gonna get vicious in there.
You mentioned it's going to get vicious in there. Is it something you enjoy more? Do you somewhat sometimes when you're in a fight, do you ever think to yourself, I can't wait for this to catch fire a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I'm the one making it catch fire, aren't I? I'm the one going to look for it, so that's all me. Yeah. So that's when I love it most.
I mean, you mentioned you're the one going to try and make it catch fire. I don't imagine you'll have to look hard with Rey Vargas on Friday night. How exciting of a prospect is this for you? Your first world title challenge against a man like Rey Vargas, who has been in there with many top talented fighters. He's got his own impressive knockout record and only one defeat on his record, which came against Oshiki Foster up at super featherweight.
Yeah, this is massive for me. This is massive for me family, for me whole team. This is what we've been working for, and working for our whole lives, no matter who it is in the ring with me. I'm not really too focused on the opponent. It could be anyone in there with me. It's just my opportunity and my world title fight, what I've been working for my whole life. So it's massive for me this year.
How much of Rey Vargas have you studied, Nick, and how much do you know about him?
Not much, honestly. Yeah, I'm like that with all all of my opponents. I let me coaches do that, lead it up to them, and they'll work on things with me, and I just trust in them and just focus on myself and be the best version of me, and that can beat anyone.
So best version of yourself, and just going into the fight, how do you anticipate it unfolding? How do you look to get the better of Rey Vargas?
However I choose, really, I wouldn't really know until fight night, but I'm not as usual. I'm not coming to the you know, take me time or nothing like that. I'm coming to get the job done in style.
We've obviously seen a lot of big fights mentioned out here in Saudi Arabia. Your first experience of it, a victory, becoming a world champion, financially it could be massive for you. Is that on your mind?
Yeah, but it's not on my mind as much now. That's happening anyway. That's happening regardless. But the fight's on my mind the most. Getting the job done, getting the belt, and then all the other things that is happening in it. So that's massive for me as well, because it's life changing, as you said, and this is everything to me, because this is going to change my family's life. So when it comes to them, that's no messing.
What would it mean to you to hear "and the new" on Friday night?
Everything, as I say, everything, yeah, because it's going to change my life and my family's lives and my whole team, and I wouldn't be here without any of them. Definitely not.
There's talk, obviously, Nick, of you potentially going on to fight on a 5 versus 5 bill, the Quensberry versus Matchroom card in June, provided Friday goes to plan. I know you don't want to take your eyes off it, but is that something internally which has maybe been mentioned to you, that successful, another big opportunity lies ahead of you?
Yeah, I've been hearing that. It does sound exciting, doesn't it? But I've got to stay focused on getting the job done first, and then I can think about that. But yeah, that is looking good.
It's unfortunate, Nick. It's my job to prod and probe a little bit further into that. The names which have been mentioned amongst yours from against a potential matchroom fighter would be Leigh Wood, Josh Warrington, or Ray Ford, who fights Kholmatov for another version of the world title tonight. Leigh Wood and Warrington talk about maybe super featherweight. You're at feather, but Ford being at feather. Which one would interest you the most, though?
Any of them, all three of them, yeah. Doesn't really matter who it is, yeah. I don't really care.
Why do you think it is, when you look at the Woods, the Warringtons, the Mick Conlons when he was up there, amongst others, your name wasn't really mentioned in and amongst them? Obviously, you're the closest now to winning a world title. Why do you think your name was never mentioned in and amongst those?
In the 5v5?
No, just in general, in general, yeah.
I'm not too sure. Probably maybe they're underestimating me, treating me like an underdog, something like that. I don't really know. I've been underestimated my whole life, so it doesn't really matter. But the main thing is I'm fighting for the best belt in boxing on the 8th of March, so it doesn't really matter. The WBC green and gold belt's the best one in the division and in the world, innit? World titles, in my opinion. So yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I know you've said any of those names that I mentioned would be pleasing for you to face, but especially one of Wood or Warrington, because of the British background and how big of a fight that could be, does one stand out for you?
Not really stand out, no. Probably Leigh Wood. I'd like to fight him.
Obviously, I've been mentioning about Otabek, Kholmatov and Ray Ford fight tonight for the IBF featherweight title. Would you be tuning in tonight, maybe tomorrow, just to see how that fight played out?
Yeah, I don't even know what time it's on, because I'm lost in all these time zones and that. But yeah, if I'm still up and it's on, I'll watch it. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on the fight?
The Raymond Ford, I think he could outbox him, but the other lad looks quite powerful, so I'm not too sure. I haven't seen much of both of them, but I think Ray Ford could outbox him, maybe. I'm not too sure.
It's obviously going to be an interesting fight tonight, one which a lot of people are looking forward to. One final one I'm just going to get your thoughts on. Haney versus Garcia. Just interested to get your thoughts on that fight, Nick.
Yeah, I think Devin Haney beats him, to be honest. Yeah. I think he could potentially stop him. He'll definitely outbox him, I think, but he could potentially stop him. I'm not too sure what weight it's at, but yeah, he's looking quite strong, and his last performance was good, wasn't it? So, yeah.
Right, Nick, it's a pleasure to catch up with you. Obviously, enjoy the rest of this week, enjoy the Saudi Arabian media activities, and thanks for speaking to me. Good luck on Friday night.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Appreciate that.